Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Addiction Uncensored, episode 12. I'm Tracy Struckman, a licensed therapist, an addiction expert, a mom of three, and someone who has been in recovery for over a decade. And I have spent that decade helping people rebuild their lives after addiction. This podcast is a place for real, raw conversation, the stuff that most people don't want to talk about. We'll cover the wins, the setbacks, the messy middle, and the real life challenges that come after detox or treatment, as well as how society plays a role in addiction and treatment as well. My goal is to give you honest stories, practical tools, and a reminder that you are not alone in this. And this is my co-host, the stray kitten that we found across the street that was dumped on me by the business owner. They said, hey, there's a little kitten across the street, just in case you see it, maybe grab it. And I'm like, in case I see it. Okay, yeah, in case I see it. I'll just go inside and go to bed now. Have a nice day. No, I couldn't leave her out there. I had to go find her. And 1 hour later, we were on our way to buy a litter box. And now this is Kit. She's our new kitten. And she likes to sit on my shoulder like a parrot. But anyways, let's get into it and start talking about recovery the way it really is. If you would like to support Addiction Uncensored, I would greatly appreciate it. That is my dream come true. You can do that by liking, commenting, sharing, following the podcast or the YouTube channel, joining me on Instagram or Facebook. Come join our weekly Get Off Your Ass challenge to improve your mental health. You can also check out my website, www.myinnerworkshop.com, for therapy and other ways to work with me. Are you sleeping? She's sleeping. So today's topic is the addiction treatment system, or as I like to call it, the hamster wheel with really nice billing software. If you think that they're here to heal you, well, just know that it might be Tim the Toolman style healing. Before we dive into it all, I want to hear your vote, okay? Is our current treatment system working? Yes or no? Put it down in the comments. Do you think our current system, our legal system, our medical system, everything that our society is doing to combat addiction, is it working? So last week we talked about the start of addiction, what caused the epidemic, and today we're talking about how we are fixing it. Just take a minute and think about it this way, okay? Imagine if cancer treatment only worked 10% of the time, but instead of improving it, we just said, 30 days of survival is enough. That's kind of what addiction treatment in America is like. Short-term programs, insurance payout, and then a pat on the back as they send you home with a pamphlet and no actual plan. I know because I've been to rehab myself at least four times. So like we talked about last week, Big Pharma saw their opportunity. They saw the cash cow of OxyContin and the chronic pain population. Just as they saw that cash cow, rehabilitation centers and insurance companies are now seeing the cash cow of addiction treatment. Because again, remember, our medical system is first and foremost a business model. Side note though, how bad is it that we cannot trust our own community leaders, our own government, our own medical system? That is an incredibly concerning thought to me. Because obviously the trust does not only apply to the opioid epidemic, but everything, all aspects of government leadership. But today we're talking about substance abuse, so don't get me started on that. I'm sure we'll talk about that another day. It's really a scary thought. It really is. And I hope that you guys remember that in your day-to-day life. Okay, so firstly, we're going to talk about the main players in the substance abuse treatment game, because that's what it is. A game. Who can guess who they are? 3 main players. Take a wild guess. I already told you one of them. Number 1, the medical system. Number 2, pharmacies and doctors. And number 3, jails and prisons. Those are our main players when it comes to addiction treatment. And for-profit rehab centers love a repeat customer. It's like a loyalty program, except your free gift is relapse. Prisons and probation departments, they thrive on failure. If you mess up, you're back in the system and the cash keeps flowing. Prevention at the doctor's office, barely funded because you can't bill prevention like you can incarceration. And the pharmaceutical companies, well, we already learned just how trustworthy they are in our last video. As trustworthy as a fox. I don't know. I was Here's the thing. A 5-minute doctor visit is not going to fix years of trauma, and 15 minutes is all that the insurance company pays for with your doctor for a regular visit. Did you know that? 15 minutes is all that doctor's getting paid for. Anything over that, they're not getting paid. That's why your daily checkups are very limited, and that's why prevention is very limited. And then families are left to clean up the mess while the system just shrugs and waits for the next body in the bed. And everyone falls prey to this. Everyone. How can they not? So let's go ahead and put ourselves in the average American's shoes. The average American family who is impacted by addiction. Let's say that we are a parent. We're a parent and we have a 17-year-old child who is struggling with addiction. We have watched them transform into a different person right in front of our eyes. We watch them throwing their lives away, but nothing we say is helping. Or maybe our 17-year-old child was a football star, the quarterback and the homecoming king, and he got an injury playing football and he got prescribed Oxycontin, and now he's hooked on it, physically dependent on Oxycontin, and he's struggling. What do we do? I know I, as a parent in this situation, and my parents when I was in active addiction, were worried sick, literally sick. Families everywhere were. They were in unknown territory. They were confused. They were scared, and they had no idea where to turn for help. No idea what to do with this. So what they did was they reached out to their local doctors, their local police officers, and to the addiction treatment hotlines that they're seeing plastered all over the TV. And they reach out to these people and they say, please help me, help my child. So what I'm going to do as a person who has experienced this personally and has now seen all sides of addiction, from the one being in treatment to the one billing the insurance companies to the one sending other people to treatment, I am going to give you an example of a conversation between a parent and one of these resources that they have reached out to saying, please help my child. But here's the kicker. I am going to give you an example of this conversation as though the resources were telling the truth. I'm going to have to put this sleeping kitty down. Oh my God. Oh my God. She's so freaking cute. Okay, I'm a parent. My child is struggling. I saw this ad for a recovery center on TV and I'm calling them to ask them for help for my child. Hi, yes. Is this the California Beachfront Treatment Center that I saw on TV? It is. Great. Listen, I need your help. I've got a 17-year-old child. He was a football star last year. This year, he's a completely different person. He's draining our finances. Our whole family is in shambles. Oh my goodness, sir. I am so sorry to hear that. I see this every day and it is the saddest thing, but don't worry. Our treatment center will fix everything. We know exactly what to do. We will have your family fixed right up in no time. All you have to do is pay us about $25,000 and then we'll fly your child out to California and we will put them through treatment. And a month from now, everything will be back to normal. Oh my God, that's so amazing to hear. I'm so glad I finally found someone who can help. Okay, I don't have $25,000 right now, but that's okay. I'm going to sell everything I own, put the house up for collateral, and I'll call you tomorrow with the money, okay? Because our son is everything to us. We have to fix this. Call you tomorrow. Okay, ma'am. I've got the $25,000. Is there anything else I need to know before my son gets on the plane? Oh, that is fantastic. You are on your way to a better life right now. I'm so happy for you. Let me review our treatment program for you, okay? We have two options for treatment, two tiers. So the first one is a 3-week detox program. We detox your child. We give them medication to make them real comfortable during their detox. They're on this beachfront campus, so they'll be nice and relaxed. And then after that 3 weeks, we send them back home. Or if you would like to continue treatment after that, we can do another like 3 to 6 weeks or so. What we'll do is we'll send your child away from the inpatient treatment center to this old abandoned hotel, and it is surrounded by drug dealers. It is, I'll be honest with you, but don't worry about that, okay? They're not allowed to leave, and there are 2 staff available at all times to monitor all 3,057 patients. So then after a few more weeks there, we'll send them back home. Also, side note, I do need to let you know that a lot of the residents there will probably still be using. Some people even learn how to shoot up there for the first time. I know, crazy, right? But I'm sure that will not be your child. Okay. I think think that you might have left some of that out before. I kind of wish that I would have known that before I sold everything that I owned to come up with $25,000. I'm not going to lie, that doesn't sound very effective. Is there anything else that we can do? Okay, well, it's effective for like 5% of our patients. So if you don't want to pursue that option, whatever, we are the best. But there is another thing you can try. There are detox treatments. You could pay about $5,000 for a 3-day hospitalized detox. Much cheaper, much more affordable. You won't have to lose your house. And what we do is we keep the child in the hospital for about 3 to 5 days while they detox, and then we send them home. Okay, well, if a 3 to 5 day detox is enough to take care of the problem, then why are you offering a 4-month treatment program? Can you tell me what other options you have? Okay, sir. I see. I see how you are. Let me just take a look and see what else we have, okay? Okay, here we go. Perfect. It looks like there is a methadone clinic very close by to your residence. Okay, great. What is that? Well, basically, what they do at the methadone clinic is switch out the opiates that your child is using for a much more powerful opiate that they will then have to stay on for the rest of their life. So every day for the rest of their lives, all they have to do is come up with $13 and drive an hour to the methadone clinic by 5 o'clock in the morning. Make sure that you get there between the hours of 4 and 5 a.m. Otherwise, your child will not get their dose for the day and they will be extremely sick, especially on the weekends because we're closed on Sundays. So if you don't show up by 5 a.m. on Friday, you won't get your dose for Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. And then your child will get very sick and probably relapse, okay? So it's very imperative that you get there between 4 to 5 a.m. every morning. But again, as long as he takes that medicine, everything should be good from here on out. Okay. Is there anything else? All right, sir. Checking. Checking. It looks like the last thing on our list is the good old-fashioned tough love approach. In this approach, we recommend having your child arrested or Baker acted. Once they have a legal charge, they will be in the legal system for years to come. They will do some time in jail, which will get them clean, but at least you know that they will be safe. Okay, that sounds kind of rough. Are there programs in jail that will help them learn how to stay clean? Of course there are. Oh, okay. Well, I guess that seems like the best option at this point. It's the only one that gets my child clean and actually gives them treatment. Okay, fantastic. I'm so glad we found an option for you. Your family will be back together in no time. We will send an officer out to arrest your child right away. And this is the cycle. This is the cycle that families have been put in for years and years now to address our opioid epidemic. They were left broke, distraught, hopeless, with addiction still running rampant in their children and their communities. Now, let's be clear about something real quick. I am not bashing all of these treatment methods. I am not saying that these treatment methods are not good and that they don't have their place. They all do have their place, and I am an advocate for whatever kind of treatment gets someone clean because everyone is different. I'm saying at this time, in the early epidemic, when you have somebody severely addicted to opioids as a frontline defense to a nationwide problem, none of these are good solutions. None of them. In my opinion, none of these treatment methods meet the criteria that is needed to fully treat substance use disorder. And trust me, I know because I have completed these programs myself. I have completed them and I've created them. I've done the hospitalized detox. I've done the methadone clinic. I've done the Suboxone doctor. I've done jail. I've done prison. I've done the halfway house, and I've done them all at least twice. The average stay in rehab is 21 to 28 days. When I detoxed from heroin, it took me a solid 3+ months before my body could function normally again, before it could physically regulate itself without opiates. And that is not even touching the rest of the treatment that's needed to stay that way. A phase treatment program could be very beneficial, except that the one I went to was very much like the one described in the phone call, and people were using. And unfortunately, most of the beachside wonderful centers that you would see on TV were like that. There are countless horror stories about rehab. Now, that's not saying that all of them are bad, but that's saying that there are a good number of them who took advantage of the opioid epidemic to make money. Now, MAT medication-assisted treatment, Suboxone, methadone, it absolutely has its place. Additionally, the things that I said about the methadone clinic in the phone call are true. They have very strict hours, very strict requirements, and if you don't meet those, you don't get your dose and your whole life is put on the line. In addition to that, the methadone clinic that I went to did not even have a program to help you wean down and get off of methadone. I was actually on Suboxone through our methadone clinic once before. And when I told them that I was ready to wean off of it, the doctor said, okay, great. Just tell me what you want to do. You want to start cutting it by half? Just tell me if that feels good or not, and then let me know. And I'm like, okay. Do you have like a wean down calendar, a program, comfort meds to help with the symptoms of detoxing? No, we don't. They said we don't have any of that. You have to go find that from another doctor. They literally had no resources to help you come off of the MAT whatsoever. So these clinics, in my opinion, tend to be set up for long-term maintenance. Now, jail, it's getting better now than it used to be. There are actually some programs out there now, whereas back in the day when I was going in and out, there were none. Most jails actually do have programs within them now, which is fantastic. I have seen the legal system come a long way in the past 15 years. Back in the midst of the epidemic, when I was going in and out, there were no programs in the local jail whatsoever. And in order to get into a program in prison, you had to have a sentence of at least probably 2.5 years to 2.5 to 5 years. There's waiting lists, and then the program lasts 6 months. They just don't even let you in it unless you have a fairly lengthy sentence. I have spent a year of my life locked up, and I did not receive treatment during any part of that year. Let's not even mention the fact that incarceration actually tends to cause more trauma and self-esteem issues in most individuals, especially men's prison, where they are surrounded by violence and even drugs. So as a therapist and a recovering addict, what do I think will work? After I got clean, I had people ask me how I did it. The success rate of opioid recovery at the time was about 5%. When people asked me that question, I really considered the answer to it. And I'm going to tell you what I came up with, what real treatment is. It is holistic and comprehensive and long-term. Treatment shouldn't just get you clean. It's supposed to help you stay that way. It's supposed to help you rebuild a happy and successful life. That is what keeps you clean. A life that you don't need an escape from. The trauma that brought you to addiction in the first place has to be healed. And when you have a life that you're genuinely happy with, and you are genuinely happy with yourself on the inside, you will stay clean. You will want to run from relapse because you worked your ass off to get that. And you love it. You're grateful for it every single day. That is what I advocate for in my work and within the medical system. And I am living proof that that works. When I got clean, I didn't just sit around and say, I'm clean now, let's go back to normal. I did the work. I did the work to heal and to rebuild my life and rebuild who I was from ground zero. And that's what kept me clean, finding purpose and joy and love. So treatment centers are getting better today, but we still have a long way to go. And I will never, ever stop advocating for comprehensive treatment. Now, in our next one, I'll talk a little bit more about my story and what actually works to get and stay clean long term. For now, stay in recovery. Healing is a lot cheaper than funerals, and the food is better too. I'll see you guys next time.